During the heyday of steam locomotive travel in America, most railroads had one special type locomotive designated to head their most prestigious passenger trains. This was during the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, when passenger travel was almost exclusively by rail. The Pennsylvania Railroad's premier passenger steam locomotive was the K4 Pacific, which was a 4-6-2 wheel configuration. This means the locomotive had 4 pilot wheels in front, 6 big driving wheels in the middle, and 2 trailing truck wheels. The K4s were produced by the Baldwin Locomotive Works, which made 75, and the Pennsylvania Railroad's Juniata shops, which built 350. The K4s had a very large firebox and boiler, which meant it could produce great amounts of steam and keep the power up. Combined with the 80-inch drive wheels, these locomotives could maintain 80 miles per hour for long periods of time. The Pennsylvania Railroad's premier passenger train was the Broadway Limited, which ran from New York to Chicago. The Lionel model is of the K4 numbered 5453, which was made in 1927 and featured a long-haul tender. This was a much longer tender than normal and made for fewer coal and water stops, so the train could keep roaring down the rails, which translated into happy customers. In 1987, the governor of Pennsylvania, Robert Casey, signed a law designating the K4 as the official locomotive of the state of Pennsylvania. Lionel's new Legacy K4 is a beautiful example of this locomotive. Let's look at the details. You can see the Brunswick green paint is correctly done with the Dulux gold striping. This is what set the Pennsylvania steam locomotives apart from other railroads. Check out the air pumps and water heaters, cab window glass with engineer and fireman figures, the Juniata shop's builder plate, and of course, the Keystone Herald on the front. The Legacy locomotive has a smoke unit that provides steam for the whistle, as well as the smokestack. The long-haul tender is very impressive. This does add to the overall length and requires a larger diameter curve for operation. Lionel says it will negotiate 0.54 curves, but I recommend a minimum 0.60. The larger the curves, the better it will work. With the sequence control, we can hear the sounds of an entire trip by pressing aux 1 on startup.
This is the dispatcher. Do you copy? I read you. Over. Very good. Start up and hold.
Yes, sir. Start up and stand by. Out.
Now, speaking of the sounds, it's very important to understand that the sounds come from the tender, and they are transmitted by infrared signal on the drawbar. Now, the bell. Now with Legacy, you can ring the bell one time if you'd like, or you can hold the button up and the bell will begin to ring on its own. Now to stop that, you just simply push up one more time. There are only 2 K4s left. One is on display at the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum. The other is at the Railroaders Museum in Altoona, Pennsylvania, being restored.